everyone, my name's Linda Fitzwater. I teach critical theory for fashion promotion and imaging students at Epsom. My course engages with past and current social trends, why they emerged, and how they affect people's lifestyles and consumerism. I'd like to introduce my student Motunrayo, who will be telling you about their excellent research into the society and influences of the rave music scene in the UK, especially the politics, drug culture, and styles of the designer clothing worn to raves.
I chose to focus on the topic of subcultures, in particular the UK rave scene, as I felt that it was a subculture that was relevant to contemporary society. I was also inspired by the rave culture that is prevalent within the young generation of today. Contents: how drugs influenced rave culture. Reynolds considers the effects of drugs on ravers. How politics infiltrated rave culture. Ashenhurst explores what the government deemed as positive for society in public places, whilst Gordon provides a clear definition of a subculture. Designer clothing in rave culture. Turk and Milton explain how designer clothes became appropriate to wear in the streets of London. Raving and drug culture represented on TV. Stern highlights how teens can be influenced through social cognitive theory. Influence of drugs. Figure 1 shows a group of people pictured at a rave, using pacifiers. This was taken by David Swindle in the 1980s. At the same time, rave culture as a whole is barely conceivable without drugs, or at least without drug metaphors. By itself, the music drugs the listener. Reynolds, 2013. Reynolds acknowledges the widespread use of drugs within rave culture. He also acknowledges the trance-like state that ravers are put into by the music. As shown in Figure 1, the clubbers are pictured wide-eyed with pacifiers in their mouths. This is in relation to drug use, as pacifiers are used to protect the inside of one's mouth and teeth from the grinding of teeth and jaw clenching. MDMA and ecstasy are known drugs for causing this sensation. Dummies are a soothing device made for babies. However, it has become normalized for adults to use within rave culture. This then highlights how drugs are heavily embedded in rave culture. Political resistance. Figure 2 shows a crowd at the Anti-Criminal Justice Act protest in Hyde Park in November 1994. The 1994 Criminal Justice and Public Act describes rave music as including sounds wholly or predominantly characterized by the emission of a succession of repetitive beats, and prohibits it in open places. Andrew Ashenhurst, 2010. Ashenhurst explores what the government deemed as positive for society in public places. As shown in Figure 2, ravers protested against the 1994 Criminal Justice Act as they were not prepared to be silenced. Raving as a subculture is highlighted here, as ravers are unified. Subculture, a concept used here to refer to a subdivision of a national culture, composed of a combination of factorable social situations such as class status, ethnic background, regional and rural or urban residence, and religious affiliation, but forming in their combination a functioning unity which has an integrated impact on the participating individual. Gordon, 1947. This definition by Gordon highlights that the ravers all felt unified through protesting, as they were all fighting for the same cause. Their forming as a unit to protest the Anti-Criminal Justice Act would have an integrated impact on each participating individual. This would permit each individual to play rave music in open places. Political resistance. Figure 3 shows a man holding a notice to leave. Section 63 is served. This was taken in the UK, Tech, Bramshall Common in Hampshire, in 2001. As shown in Figure 3, a man is holding a scrunched up form of Section 63. Section 63 gave the police the authority to remove persons attending or preparing for a rave. Also, it contained a definition of music normally played at raves as sounds wholly or predominantly characterized by the omission of repetitive beats. Figure 4 shows Officer Monkey in Avon Street, Bristol, in 2003. The introduction of this new bill was met with protests and resistance from ravers who felt that they were being targeted by the government. Figure 4 shows a raver wearing a police hat on his head, whilst 2 police officers are shown in the background. Style in rave culture. Figure 5 shows a group of girls in the club Night Heat, held at Hastings Pier in May 1997. This was taken by Tristan O'Neill. Figure 5 shows a group of girls in a rave. One of them is wearing a jeans Dolce & Gabbana top. In the 90s, clothes that were made for the catwalks of Milan and Italian high society was appropriated by the streets of London. It became the uniform, the code. Turk and Milton. This means that ravers normalized wearing designer clothing, and this unified them. By wearing important and expensive clothing, the working class ravers and the designer wearing elite would have switched roles. Figure 6 shows a group of men in the club night One Nation. This was in September 1997, taken by Tristan O'Neill. Figure 6 shows a picture of 2 men wearing slightly oversized Moschino. Camo being worn would have been a reflection of the economic struggles of the time. However, it was put in contrast to the trend of designer labels, a look that was also popular in American hip-hop. Raving and drug culture represented on TV. Figure 7 shows a still from the TV show Skins, which was filmed in 2007. Figure 8 also shows a still from the TV show Skins, filmed in 2007. As shown in Figure 7 and 8, both boys are taking a form of drug in a rave. Social cognitive theory suggests that teen viewers may be especially likely to learn from teen models who they perceive as similar, desirable, and attractive. Stern. This means that young teens can be influenced to repeat the same habits they see from their TV counterparts. Moreover, a TV show like Skins would have been influential for teens as they used a based on real life type strategy in its programming. Although Skins has been accused of glamorizing prominent issues such as eating disorders and mental illnesses, many argue that its portrayal of drug abuse is accurate. Raving and drug culture represented on TV continued. According to the NHS website, there were 7,376 hospital admissions for drug-related mental and behavioural disorders in 2019, which was 14% less than 3 years ago in 2015 and 16, which was 8,621, but still 30% higher than in 2008 and 9, which was 5,668. Figure 9 shows a still from the TV show Skins, which was filmed in 2007. This shows that there has been a vast increase in the number of hospital admissions for drug-related mental and behavioural disorders since 2008 and 9, which is a year after the first season of Skins had aired. In addition, This also means that programs like Skins are more relevant and influential to teenage life in contemporary society than in 2008. Figure 9 shows a girl holding a pill and staring at it in amazement. This portrays the different emotions one may have when taking drugs. I feel that I have learnt that designer brands were significant to the integration of ravers. Moreover, I have learnt and acknowledged that pop culture can have a positive yet detrimental effect on teenagers and young adults, consequently leading them to societal pressures such as participation in recreational drug use.
Thank you so much, Motunrayo, and thank you to everyone viewing. We hope that being guided through this way of researching will prove to be inspiring this summer and in your future projects. If you would like any more details, feel free to email me, Linda Fitzwater, at lfitzwater@uca.ac.uk. So that's LFITZWATER at uca.ac.uk. Bye.